line free there as I'm expecting a call from our political leader and the Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of Dominica, Dr. Roosevelt Skerrit. Of course, I will come right back here.
We shall not be, we shall not be, just like the trees that's planted by the waters.
All right,
Their party shall not be moved. You better know Jala, Jala,
All right, welcome back wherever you are listening across Dominica, live with us on the telephone, Dr. Roosevelt Skerrit. Good evening to you, PM.
Simeon, good evening to you, and of course, good evening to your listeners, the listeners of the next level, and thanks for having me.
It is a pleasure to have you. It's been a while. We have not had a little chat like this, but it's been some busy days for you, Honorable Prime Minister.
Very busy days. I actually just got home a few minutes ago, from a very tiring trip, I must say. I was just saying that I, between leaving Dominic and returning, I may have done about 13 or 14 PCR tests. I have to do a test. Almost daily.
Wow.
But traveling in this period is not as before. You have to be extremely cautious, and you meet so many people at so many events and functions and meetings and engagements. So. But that's the reality that we are faced with in the world now, with the pandemic. So it's just a matter of following the protocols and wearing the face mask and sanitizing, washing your hands, getting tested on a regular basis, and very importantly to getting vaccinated and taking the prescribed vitamins over an ongoing period. So these are some of the things I believe that we could do as individuals to help fight the spread of COVID-19, and so that we can continue to make progress to getting back to some level of normalcy in the current situation.
Yes.
But so my urging to all of us is to continue taking the vaccine. I want to congratulate and commend those who have taken it recently, and also to commend the parents and guardians who have allowed the children to get the vaccine. It is in their personal interest. It is in the interest of the families, and of course, in the interest of the country. We all want to get back to school. I've been getting, for example, text messages from an owner of a daycare center who is very frustrated, and rightly so, and very anxious that she hasn't been able to reopen her daycare center, which is her source of her daily bread, her income. So we really empathize with people like this, who've been so dramatically affected by COVID-19. So this week we'll be reviewing the guidelines and the protocols and the SRO in respect to COVID-19, and to see in the current situation, taking into consideration all of the variables, what additional measures we can take to further allow increased activities. For example, more people allowed to attend church and et cetera, et cetera. So this week will be doing a further review. As you know, we do review from time to time.
Yes.
Almost on a weekly basis, assessing the situation and taking prudent and responsible decisions. There has to be a very intelligent and responsible balance to managing the spread of the virus, and also ensuring that people can earn the daily bread.
Yes.
Because that's also very important. These folks have their places open, they're paying rent, and they have to remain closed. So they're not. It is not different from the government.
Yes.
But it's important for us to get vaccinated. Absolutely important. And I want to thank all of those who have been speaking, advocating, encouraging, persuading, educating, informing people on the need to get vaccinated. I pass through London. You can see the positive impact that the higher rate of vaccination has on the psychology of the people, the emotional state of the people. The people feel a greater sense of confidence, knowing that a significant percentage of the population is vaccinated, so people can go about their lives and enjoy the things that they enjoyed prior to the pandemic coming on stream. So we have to do this. We have vaccines. We have vaccines to protect every single Dominican who is in the age categories. So let us go and do it. We have to do it because one is costing us as Dominicans a significant amount of money to manage and to treat those who are affected, and we're committed to providing the medical care and treatment. And we had contracted $10 million US, which is about 27 million EC dollars from the OPEC fund. And I have had, as Minister of Finance, to set aside this entire amount to go towards COVID-19, because I want to ensure, as the leader of the country, that we have sufficient test kits, we have sufficient PPEs, we have sufficient medication, to provide, and we can hire additional staff, as we have done, to help manage the situation. So we need to ensure that we have the resources to provide those things for our citizens. And so $27 million, and you, and I'm sure every single Dominican can think of so many other things that we could do with this $27 million.
I'm sure there is always.
Can you imagine the impact it would have had on small businesses or housing or community roads or even highways? So there are a number of other areas that we could have spent this $27 million to help the economy. We could have put this money at the NDFD and the 8 bank, the credit unions at 1% or 0% interest rate. We could have put in $10 million at the government housing board to lend to public officers to build their homes at 3% or 4% interest rates. So this is what we have to do to. These are the challenges that we're faced with. And this is why, I had to be out of the country for a couple of weeks. Promoting the Citizenship by Investment Program and the projects that are here, that we have here in Dominica, because this is a significant part of our non-tax revenue. And it's important that we maintain our presence in the marketplace, our public relations, our promotions, to ensure that we can continue to receive the interest that we have been receiving in our programs, and our projects and programs can be implemented. I mean, just to give the country, just to give the citizens an understanding, just to remind them, in the budget that we just passed, we have budgeted for $117 million just for interest and loan payments. $117 million. The NEP is $3.8 million every month. That is paid for by the Citizenship by Investment Program. The health centers we're building, the hospital, the international airport, all of this project, the housing that we've been doing in Grand Bay and in Center for the Dubic and Grand Bay constituents there. 100+ homes will be constructed with a resource center, basketball court, etc. And also we'll be building some homes in Tecmon and Borgio for the people there. So there are a number of housing, additional housing, that will be unveiling. Supporting to the small businesses, we continue to provide. We don't make a big fanfare about it, and this is what sometimes we're not good at. Is letting the country know all of the things that we're doing. A lot we do quietly, but we continue to provide support to a number of small businesses, not only financial support, but also training. Training, because that's a major area of need in managing money, because money was never meant to be spent; it was always meant to be managed. How to do proper accounting, how to do budgeting and so on. And the reports from the participants are amazing. comments and the feedback. They're so appreciative. They're appreciative of the funds because the funds, they need the funds, but they're even more appreciative of the guidance and the support that we're giving them, the technical support and the training that they need to better understand what is business and how can I go about managing my business, how can I go about stretching my dollar and optimizing the returns on my dollar and et cetera,
Yes.
So there are a number of things that we're doing quietly, and I think that we need to speak about these things. So it's a pretty successful trip, as you know. Also, I was in first with the United Arab Emirates. I was there. We have been able to develop and nurture an exceptional relationship with the United Arab Emirates. As you know, we have an embassy in Abu Dhabi, and Ambassador Charles has been doing a fantastic job in nurturing the diplomatic and friendly relations between Dominica and the United Arab Emirates. And they've been very kind to us, and of course, in this week coming, I will give more details on my trip. Also in Egypt, we're developing relations there, and I took the opportunity to visit Pakistan, where I also visited a university that has interest in Dominica. And that is a massive university. It's not only a university, a school of medicine, but it's also a school of pharmacology, a school of dentistry, school of nursing, and the owners of this university, they also own a hospital, which is they have in excess of 500 beds. So you can understand the massive operations, and they have an interest in it. We have signed an MOU with another group, and I will give some more information on that this week. But I also met with the chairman of the group, who is a Dominican citizen now. He became a Dominican citizen by way of the Economic Citizenship Program. So then we've been able to meet with a number of those people who are interested in doing investments beyond just becoming citizens, and this is an area that we focus heavily on. And Ambassador Charles has been a very, very good job there in reaching out and meeting these people and laying the foundation for this. So I'll give more information on this.
Yes.
But the reality is, sometimes you have a small group of people who say why Skerrit has to go out and so on.
Yes.
The reality is, I rather not have travel. But I liken myself to, you have a bird, but it has small ones.
Yes.
If it just keeps its young ones warm and doesn't go out to catch the worm and bring back, then what's going to happen to them?
Yes.
So the difficult task is mine as the leader of the country, and I am the chief revenue person for the country. I have to ensure that the country has the resources to meet its obligations and to meet its commitments, and more so in this difficult time.
Yes.
So we're progressing. All of the CBI-funded hotel projects are ongoing. The Tranquility, and I had with me the developer for Tranquility. The hotel is doing very well, and the exceptional interest in the project out of Dominica is phenomenal.
That's great.
So there's a lot of serious interest in our program, and as you know, we were also voted earlier this year as the #1 program, and it's an independent assessment of it. So it's an important source of non-tax revenue for the country.
Yeah.
The international airport is on stream, and in the next months you will see even heightened activity taking place on the site. So a number of things happening. The East Coast Road, $127 million. The Layo Hillsborough Bridge is ongoing. The section of the road from the Layo Bridge, Hillsborough Bridge to the York Valley Bridge, work is ongoing there. That's about $11 million. And we have finalized finalizing the design for the Loop to Granby Bacatel Road. We're hoping to go to tender very soon and issue a contract immediately thereafter to start So in the first quarter of 2022, we will see some physical work taking place there. And geothermal. So I said this week I will give more details on this. Your program is, I don't want to take too much of your time.
But PM, I just wanted to speak a little bit. I heard you speak about the $27 million that will be going towards fighting COVID.
We've going towards. We've already spent from it a significant amount.
I see.
I mean, just to tell you, a rapid antigen test is $20. That's just to purchase it. It doesn't include the freight and so forth. $20 for one. I believe the PCR test kit is about $100 and some of the US for one. We are offering to people for travel at $100 EC. So you understand that we're significantly subsidizing.
Yes.
While we've been receiving free test kits from friendly countries and institutions, we've also purchased a significant number of test kits. We don't rely only on the benevolence of our partners and our friends. We also do what we have to do with the resources that we have. And the treatment. I mean, if you have a restaurant or hotel and you have to feed 450 people, you know how much money you're gonna have to find to feed 450 people?
Yeah, that's a significant cost.
And so you can imagine free meals at the COVID facilities and housing. We have to pay all of the apartments that we're using. We have had to increase the staffing dramatically. I mean the caterers in Portsmouth and so on. I mean, are dancing every single day because they can't sleep because they have work.
Yes.
There's a lot of work. It's a huge opportunity for them, but it's a cost to the government. And so we're not belittling this. We're not crying over it. I mean, that's the reality, and we face the reality. This government, this Labour Party has faced many challenges before, and we have not come to the country to cry. I always tell people, a leader must find solution to problems, and that's what we've been doing. When we were crushed by Maria, the people thought that we won't be able to rebuild in 20 years. But we were able to dramatically turn the fortunes of this country, and see where we are today, just 4 years later. You look at other countries that have faced disasters not even close to that magnitude, and 15, 20 years later, they are not able to bounce back. And they have access to resources. We don't. And a lot of while we've gotten help from friendly partners and governments, the bulk of the resources that we have used to rebuild this country came from us. I mean, only now we are seeing the external funds coming in now. Yes, but in terms of the houses that we have to fix and build, and the roads and the bridges and so forth, I mean, these are all resources, government resources, and we were able to have those resources because we have been able to manage the resources of this country in a prudent and responsible manner. We've been responsive, but very responsible. And so even in this country to sustain all our safety net programs, the chances continue to be provided for, all of those institutions. And so, even one day, I don't want to take too much of your time tonight, and I don't want to stay long as well. But sometimes we don't talk about those things as a government, as a party, and then you get the impression that people are taking where we are for granted.
Yes. I mean, I'm glad that you spoke about this 27 million and how it's going towards explaining to the nation how it's going towards the cost of just managing this COVID-19, because the opposition have been on the radio giving the impression that the government is getting money and nobody knows where the money is going, and they keep talking about millions of dollars. Yes.
Getting money from where? I mean, we went to Parliament to contract a loan of $10 million US. I've heard people talking about, we're happy the numbers going up so we can get money from overseas. I mean, I've never heard such foolishness. And this is a guy who worked at the at the Caribbean Development Bank, who wants to be a politician in our country. I mean, sometimes this guy's making people feel like going to university is a waste of time. The way they speak and how they speak and what they say, I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing, and unfortunately, there's some people in this country who believe this foolishness. You know, I mean, that's amazing. You know, but we in difficult times, you need a government that is united, a government that is determined, a government that is energized, a government that is conscientious, a government that is full of empathy. Empathy. And this is what this Labour Party has been offering to the people of Dominica for the last 20 years. You know, for the last 20 years. When this country is in difficulty, Dominicans know, even those who do not support the Labour Party know, that the leadership of this country, the leadership of this government, they can rely on the leadership of this country and government in difficult times. You understand? You know, and I want to caution people because people get a little bit complacent with this thing, you know, and so forth. I just saw some graduation photographs going around, you know, the University of West Indies, people graduating Bachelor of Science and so forth. And I look at these people who've been graduated. Had it not been for the kind of policies and the motivation and the clear vision on the education that this government, the Labour Party has espoused, you know, these people would not be even thinking of going to university. How much to graduate?
Yes.
You know, and look at our homes in Dominica where you have university graduates and people. I mean, it's only when Labour Party came into office, people who have children and married going to school. Yeah. That wasn't happening before. That a lady had married and she has a husband home and she's working, her husband working, and she has children at school and she herself is at university. Because of the articulation of our policy, you know. So I will give a full brief to the country this week on my visit, my trip, and so forth. But I'm very motivated and very excited about the prospects. Indeed. You know, very excited, and I thank God for that.
Indeed.
You know, Wednesday, Simeon will be having the burial for our fallen comrade, Ed Regis. Wednesday in Grand Bay, we will have a ceremony. It will be offered in keeping with the cabinet decision of 2001, a state funeral, as a sitting minister government. We'll have 3 days of national mourning, which will begin on Monday, and will go on till 6 p.m. on Wednesday. And of course, on Monday, we will give more details of the arrangements. I know that the press release has been issued by the Secretary of the Cabinet on this, but we'll give more details in a proper briefing on Monday on the arrangements for the funeral. Obviously, we have this funeral in the midst of this pandemic, so that there are protocols that one has to follow and so forth. But we will have the burial for him and so on. And I thank his mother and his sister for their cooperation and their efforts, and we'll continue to work with them so that it could have a wonderful send-off by all of us.
Indeed.
And of course, that is going to certainly renew and strengthen our commitment to the Granby constituency. And there are a number of projects on stream there, and we look forward to those projects being implemented in its honor, and of course to the benefit of all the people of the Granby constituency, such wonderful people. And I'll have the opportunity to speak with them at some point. You know, Simeon,
yes.
You don't have to the public, Dominica. You know, Simeon, I've always said to the, because I don't want to think that you have some high-level callers waiting to call. You know, you see, you have to be when you come into politics, you come to politics to serve. You know, the whole saying, many are called but few are chosen. You know, you don't come into politics to get a job. You come to serve. And you have to be prepared to make sacrifices. You must show what sacrifices that you make when you come in to serve people. Because politics is a profession like none other. It's a vocation. It's a life of service. Your life no longer belongs to you. This is why we allow people to come to our homes to see me. When I go to my home in Vegas, people come to my home to see me. They sit on my table with me. They talk to me about the issues. And I like that. And that's part of it. You go to the home. They come to your home. You engage them. I think I'm maybe the only prime minister that so many people has his phone number. They can WhatsApp him at any time of day and on any issue. And that's fine. Maybe that's part. And you. When you come to serve, you cannot get fed up with people. You cannot be far removed from them. You have to be able to empathize with the challenges and see what you can do to help. You may not be able to solve all the problems, but at least you give them the listening ear. Yes. You understand? They have access to you. They can speak to you. Then serve. You can't. So when you look at us in the Labour Party and you compare us to what's happening in the opposition element, all of them are the same thing. Whether it's the Lawyers Association or APP, electrical company, and the UWP and all these people and all these other elements, and one set way all these groups together. None of them can show you or to demonstrate to you what sacrifice they made. Either they retired from a job for many years and they're looking for another salary, or they haven't been able to find a job, or nobody will employ them because they're lazy, they don't have the qualifications. So they don't care about people. They don't care about people, and this is why the opposition has always criticized every single thing Labour has done. With the SUK program, they criticized the senior citizens. The NAP, they had all sorts of denigrating things to say about the NAP people. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. The housing revolution, they have everything to say about it. When we told the people of P7 we were going to build homes for them, there was a whole campaign about Skerrit line, how Skerrit line build homes for people and blah, blah, blah. So everything that we have done, they've criticized it. You understand? Every single thing, they've criticized it. So the government is for vaccination, they're opposed to vaccination. Even if they know that getting vaccinated is good for the person who will be vaccinated and for the country and for the family. So everything that they have done, everything we have done, they've been opposed to it. Yes. And there's no empathy. There's no empathy. There's no concern for the people. And this is why you've never heard ULP raise funds for nobody. It's always about them. It's always about the leader wanting money for lawyers' fee, or the leader wanting money for this. The Labour Party has bills and debts. We have a loan for party headquarters at the National Credit Union. I don't come to people and say, well, give us this money, give us that, give us this and give us that. No. When the Labour Party gets some money, we help people to pay their little light bill or to buy some groceries or buy something for the children or something. That's what we do.
Yes.
We're not there trying to take from the people. No. We have benefactors, we have friends as a political institution. And when we receive that, we help people. That's what the party is about. But these guys, and they can never account for how much money they raise.
No.
If you're genuine about raising funds, Simeon, you come to say, hey folks, the lawyer charged us $50,000.
Yes.
We have 15, so we need a 35. But they never tell you how much they have to raise.
Never have a target.
And they never tell you how much to raise.
No.
And they never tell you how much they spend.
No.
This is why they have been fighting among themselves. This is why you have splinters. You have different groups now because they have concern about accountability. They have concern about transparency within the. When you have a guy like Alex Bruno, for example, who was the campaign manager of the ULP,
yes,
and this election gone and the one before that, and within days of the last general elections, he removed himself from the ULP. Within days.
7 days.
Yeah, that tells you. Before the cock crow 3 times, the man left the ULP,
It's gone.
Gone. You see, you have comment there who in America, what he did in America, who was the main spokesman for ULP.
Yes.
He's now the president of another group. You have Miss Blanchard, who was the deputy campaign manager of ULP. She formed a new political party. Everybody who was supporting them has left. The lawyers, Singular Blomqvist and others who support ULP, and the guy from Ilu Charles and so forth, they form a lawyers group.
Yes.
And so the UWP is at odds with the youth. The youth have a problem with UWP. The women have a problem with UWP. The senior citizens have a problem with UWP. And the middle-aged people like Alex Bruno have a problem with the UWP. Because you have to understand that the UWP is not based on any philosophical standing, any ideological standing. They are not motivated by service. You know, you have to understand how the ULP was founded. And this is why, no matter whether they change a leader or not, whether they change a candidate or not, it's not going to change who the ULP is. A party that is only interested in itself. And I'm sorry for so many of these supporters out there who genuinely want to see the party do well. Who believe that the party is the better party. And they've been investing their money, investing their time, and they're getting old. But the ULP doesn't listen to them. They don't listen to them. And these people are just there languishing, hoping that one day the party will get into the government. I've met some of them. You know, and they're not listening. But sometimes the behavior, they're surprised by the behavior. I'm never surprised by what the ULP does. Because this is who it is. This is who they are. So because they're not here for service. When you look at the Labour Party, every candidate the Labour Party has had in the last 25 years, I'm not going to go beyond that, last 25 years, you can point to a sacrifice each person has made to come forward as a candidate. In the last general elections, Dr. McIntyre in the Valley had one of the most thriving private practice in Dominica.
Yes.
Dr. King's salary now is less than what she was as a doctor. Kozia Frederick left the job. Teacher Bonnie was a school principal, going to church in Calabishi and Catholic with her husband and so quiet and so on, church, school, church and so forth. My friend in Grafon, school principal. Kent, a pharmacist, working. Very not too far from his pension in the next 2 years.
Yes.
You understand? Shakira was at the college. The powerful was a central. Had to almost abandon her business and get involved in the politics. Basically abandon and get involved in the politics. Has two small children. Her husband already in politics. You can understand the tremendous sacrifice that she's making.
Yes.
To be in there.
Yes.
You understand? So when you look at us and look at them, none of them in there has made a sacrifice. So this is why they don't have empathy, and they and they have changed the politics. They're angry and so forth. And so we really have to look at these people and don't believe that these people are different. They're not going to. There's nothing good you can expect. There's nothing good you can expect from them. Nothing good. This is why it's important for us to focus in this country, understand what we have as a government and who we have in government, and the commitment that we have, the love and empathy that we have. This is why they will criticize you for going on, because they don't understand these things. Do you believe that, Simeon? I really want to subject myself to the risk of all of this COVID-19 out there, to travel to these far places like this.
Not at all.
too fearful. I'd rather be home and in Vegas relaxing and so forth. But I don't have the luxury.
That's right.
I don't have the luxury because COVID-19 has not stopped the government expenditure. You understand? We give a commitment to pay this extra salary to public officers this year. The police have told us if they can get all of it one time rather than half now and half later. I'm saying. Yes. So we have to give the police the whole salary one time. You see, in responding to the request.
Yes.
And so you don't get them half this one and half next one. They say, can the government give us all at one time? You said, no, pay them. The FS called me and told the FS, no, let's go ahead and get them all at one time. So all of these things will be done. And I believe if we told the public officers, folks, well, look, we're COVID-19, all these things, we cannot pay you this thing. They will understand. Similar when after the hurricane says, Simeon.
Yes.
We had this double bubble for them before the hurricane with the salary negotiations and conclusions. And then the hurricane came. When I decided to pay this double salary in October, every Dominican was shocked.
Yes.
But I felt that people needed this extra money more than at the time than otherwise. You understand?
Yes.
And that double salary came in very tax-free, came in very handy for many families.
Oh, yes.
And so we in Dominica, we have to guard against taking what we have, what this local party has done for this country for granted. Dominica was not always how it is now. And so you have people out there who are sticking to deny Dominica and Dominican our better way of life.
Yes.
You have the Afis out there. I heard them making noise about the river and so on. But when you go to the communities, and I will go there myself, hopefully this week, to let my eyes ball my peas. I've received reports, I've seen photographs. But the people who live in the river area saying, look, this thing has helped us. We have not seen all of the rain that fell last week.
Yes.
Nothing happened.
Yes.
But these guys and you have to understand what these guys are trying to do, Simeon. I want to tell Dominic to understand this thing. These guys, when they give the impression that the government is destroying the rivers and the environment, and that gets to the World Bank, you know what's going to happen? The World Bank will have to suspend the project.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
And coming to do an investigation, do an audit. And then deny the people of Pretty Sophia, deny the people of Good Hope, Morpole, Deeper, Cassie Bruce, the Carnival Territory, and Kingston, our better road infrastructure. The same thing they did with the housing, with the agriculture, as you recall some years ago.
Yes.
When they wrote to the World Bank, the opposition leaders and others wrote to the World Bank, saying that we were not using the funds properly. The World Bank came in, did their audit, did their investigation, and they refuted, the report refuted what the opposition people were saying. Because people can call Skerrit this and call Skerrit that and so forth. But the international community knows of my relationship with them and the way that we have been able to manage and account in a transparent manner the funds that they give us. Dominica has an unblemished record. The Labour Party, one sitting government in this country, has had an unblemished record of managing people's money. People can have all sorts of innuendos and all sorts of yes, say, and this and that. But when it comes to evidence, the evidence is clear. The European Union will tell you that. This is why they love to work with Dominica. The World Bank will tell you that. This is why they love to work with Dominica. The IMF, you name it, they love to work with Dominica. Because we have been able to use the funds transparently and maintain all the good governance principles and use it for the purpose intended. So what is it doing with all of these thing. It's part of an orchestrated campaign to deny the country of opportunity. So they talk about the airport, and they know EIA, they know this, know that, to create these negative stories about the project, so that we hope that Dominica could be sanctioned and the project will come to a halt. And this is why they don't celebrate anything. They don't celebrate anything that is positive in this country. So when you have this fighting among them and so forth, I'm not surprised, because they're not focused. There's no principles. They're not founded on any principles of philosophy or ideology. They have no love for people. They don't consider about how people live. Once Mr. Linton get the salary, too poor for the rest.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
When you have a member of parliament who has not made a request or made representation for his constituents at all, this is unheard of. Unheard of. Because they don't care. Come to parliament or don't come to parliament, get a salary. But the average Dominican, if he or she doesn't go to work, he or she doesn't get a salary.
No.
You understand what I'm saying? Doesn't get a salary. So I want to urge this country that you have in a government that you can trust, a party that you can trust, a party that understands how people live, and what are some of the policies and programs we can implement and so on. And so we must not take what is happening in this country for granted. And the ELP is motivated by hate for Roosevelt Skerrit. I have no animosity towards anybody. I was saying to some people last week, we were talking about this, and I said, well, look, if we play in a game and I'm always beating you,
yes,
it is he who loses who will get upset,
That's true.
And get vexed. You understand what I'm saying? I have only one vote. The people of Dominica are the ones who vote for the Labour Party.
Yes.
You understand? Because the vast majority of people know that they have a party that they can trust. And this party, when you look at things in Dominica objectively, we have transformed this country. But we start taking for granted. Everybody is in school, people at university, we build homes for people, we invest in heavy in agriculture, we have 5-star hotels. People believe that we had an international airport, and when Skerrit came, he closed it. But when we came in, planes could not land after 4, after 5 in the afternoon, especially when it's Christmas time.
That's right. That's right.
And look at the hospital. They're pouring cold water over the hospital.
Yes.
The Marigot Hospital, when you see this investment that we're making there, the homes that we've built for people. We're not building one set of homes in Roseau for Roseau people and one set of homes in Portsmouth for South people and Castle Bruce are different. No, we're all Dominican, and we have to raise people up. And that's what we've been doing. That's why people don't understand when we build these homes for the people in Castle Bruce and in San Sauver and in Good Hope and Grand Fond. The whole is look at people as the same. So if you are in the working class, we bring you up to the middle class. You're the middle class, we bring you up to the upper middle class in terms of your economic standing. There's no glass ceiling. And so how you have to look at the situation there. I mean, when you look at the number of public officers who have homes today, had it not been for the policies and the resources that we put in as 4% at the government housing on board, they will not have a home today. And the support that we give to the private sector, people sometimes don't talk about this thing.
No.
But a number of the private sector firms are able to get money from government housing loan, from the aid bank, at the 2 and 3%.
Yes.
Creating jobs. and the concessions that we give and the relationship that we have with them. Even if they don't support us, we have a relationship with them because they provide jobs. So, Simeon, I don't want to take too much time. I think I've taken a lot of your time.
But before you leave, PM, just one more thing. There have been the COVID-19, as we have all noted, have been the major subject for discussion, and you have been. I mean, the government, the party on a whole, we have been there advocating for people to get vaccination. There have been a lot of opposition by, supporters and persons who advocate on behalf of the UWP. A failure by the leader of the opposition to disclose that he took his vaccine and many others for whatever reason. But on Thursday, the leader of the opposition was on his program saying that there is no difference of opinion right now, and he is now speaking as if he wants to come now and to work with government in the fight against COVID-19, PM. A very late call by the leader of the opposition saying that, they have been on the outside watching as the government do its thing. Yes, PM.
Simeon,
yes.
If you catch flu and then you use a bush and you make some tea with that bush and it did you well, and then a friend calls you and says, "Well, I have a bad flu there," wouldn't you recommend to that person that bush you took?
That's right, PM. I would do that.
And to try the tea?
I did that. I did that throughout the season, yes.
Even, I don't drink.
That's right.
But I make also bush rum and so forth. As a matter of fact, I made some bush rum. I gave it COVID-related names. So I had the Pfizer, I had the Sinopharm, I had the AstraZeneca, I had the ventilator. The ventilator is you grated ginger and you put damoiseau in this and so forth. You must come see me. You haven't seen me in a long time.
Yeah, while.
You can sample some of them pineapple, mango, golden apple, called pumpkin and so forth. So I do all those rums and so forth. But I don't drink.
Yes.
But people say, and I have my local honey, and I put lime juice and lime skin in this thing. And you must smell this thing. We smell this thing out of this world. But people say a little rum when you have a little flu, good for you. So even if I don't drink the rum, but people will tell me that. So I will tell them, "My brother, come for that. Let me give you something to clear your nostrils."
Right.
So if we know that something is good for somebody, and we have taken it, the natural human behavior would be to encourage others to do likewise. If you're a pastor and you believe that you're saved and you're going to go to heaven, and this is what you have to do to be saved like me, wouldn't you encourage people to do like you and what Christ says, so that we all can go to heaven?
Of course.
So you have been quiet to all what you have done and the knowledge that you have, and so you won't let people go because you alone want to go to heaven. I mean, if you know that taking the vaccine is the right thing to do, and you have done it, why should you? What is causing you not to encourage others to do it? What is causing you not to encourage others to do it? It is beyond me to understand that a church leader, as a political leader, as a union leader, that a medical doctor, as a nurse would have taken the vaccine and say, "Well, I'm not for vaccination, and neither am I against vaccination." But you took it. Why? I took it for a personal reason. What reason? What are the reasons why you took it? I took the vaccine because I am satisfied that it provides me with protection, as the scientists have said, and I am satisfied with what the scientists have said. As I'm thinking very strongly of taking a booster shot.
Yes, they have been promoting that. Yes.
I'm thinking very seriously of taking a booster shot. And so we have been out there from very early, and this government, this Labour Party, has to be commended for its leadership. To be among the first in the developing world to have access to vaccines. And I'm saying so with the greatest sense of humility, This is what we talk about when we say leadership matters. I did not sit on my hands in the financial center, hoping that, I will hear a knock and I say, who is that? And I say, vaccines. No. We put into gear our relationships that we've developed over the years. You understand?
Yeah.
I could have written to a prime minister of one of the largest country in the Commonwealth and the second populous or the most populous country in there. And to receive a response back within 48 hours of the prime minister of India, saying, I will supply you 70,000 doses of AstraZeneca vaccine. Landed here in Dominica. And then 20,000 Sinopharm from the Chinese. I got President Maduro to take a plane, one of the planes in Venezuela, and they flew to Beijing. People don't know these things, President Maduro sent a plane from Caracas to Beijing to pick up the vaccines for us. To pick up the vaccines in Beijing for us.
Yes.
And fly it straight. The plane was too big to land in Dominica, so they flew it in Caracas and took a smaller plane to bring it for me the next day.
Yes.
You understand?
Yeah. Yes.
That I could have had a meeting with President Xi of China, the second biggest economy, and have a bilateral with President Xi. And to say, President Xi, look, we need help for these things, and send us a number of things. Helped us a number of things, including the vaccine. We didn't sit in our hands. And then since then, we've gotten from the British government, we've gotten from the UK government, from the American government, and through the COVAX facility. But we were able to ignite our diplomatic relations, our friends out there, reach out to them and get vaccines for us very early. But Simeon, the people of Dominica must understand. I understand that there are people out there who have not taken the vaccine for ideological reasons, philosophical reasons. Some of them say they have health reasons. Some of them say they have religious reasons, and so on. So I'm not taking a fight with them. I don't look for fight. I don't want to get anybody in any fight in this. But the opposition elements in Dominica, from the UWP to some of the pastors and one or two priests among them, and some trade union people there's a sinister move as to why they are not encouraging people to take vaccines. It's a sinister thing because they figure, if majority will not vaccinate, a lot of people in Dominica will catch COVID and the economy will be impacted. They believe that by not encouraging people to take the vaccine, there could be an explosion of COVID-19 in Dominica. As Mr. Linton has predicted, 15,000 people will be hospitalized. He's not praying to the Lord that we don't get COVID. There'll be 15,000.
Yes, impacted.
I predict 15,000 people will have COVID-19 at one time. But the people who believe in dreams and visions, and so if you have a dream and it's a bad dream, you pray to the Lord that he intercedes. Isn't that so?
That's right, PM.
Right. If you go on a negative dream, you go there and you pray to the Lord, and I call upon you to intercede and to defeat this negative dream.
Yes.
No. The man is praying, man is saying that 15,000 people.
Yes.
So they want the country to be on lockdown so that the small business owners can make a daily bread. The government can meet its obligation, and they're hoping that would give them an opportunity. There'll be an opening for them now to have a platform to make a case, because people would kick Skerrit out and kick Lower Party out, and they'll come in. That's what it is. That is what it is. It's a sinister ploy and plot by them. But they will never prevail in this country. because evil can never prevail over good. The Lord knows our heart in this Labour Party, and the people of Dominica know that they have a party and a government that they believe in. We may not be able to solve everybody's problem at the same time or at the time they want us to solve it. But even when we pray for something to happen to us, it doesn't happen when we want it to happen. Or something doesn't happen at all because the Lord decides otherwise. So I tell people I'm just an instrument of the Lord on earth. You understand? And He empowers myself with friends and diplomatic relations and contacts, and He allows these people to help us, and we're able to address the people's problems. That's what it is. So, Timon, I certainly will want to come back later in the week.
Anytime, PM.
To be with you again. You always like to keep me on too long. I keep telling you I only come for 20 minutes.
Well, the listeners...
You have a way of keeping me on longer than I anticipated.
The listeners enjoy having you, PM. They try listening to you.
I appreciate that, but I will still come back. I've had a long traveling day and night.
Yes, it did.
But I wanted to say that I am back, and I'm happy to be back.
Yes.
I'm happy to be back. And we have work to do. We continue the work. The work has never stopped. And I give the country the assurance and my commitment that we'll do what we have to do to help alleviate the situation and to get us out of this together. But we have to work together. Yes. And we can't be selfish about it. We can't look at this situation from our own personal circumstance. We have to be mindful of the neighbor as well. We have to be mindful of the neighbor as well. And I tell people, I don't have the luxury of taking decisions only from my own personal standpoint. Understand? I have to listen to a wide cross-section of views from different interest groups and different individuals and different personalities and organizations, and then put all of this together and make a decision. So from where I sit in terms of decision making is different from you, Simeon.
Yes.
From where you sit.
Oh yes,
different from somebody else. It's not easy. It's not easy at all. We don't complain.
Yes.
So I said leaders must not complain. We must find solutions to the problems. But it's not easy. But by the grace of God, we will continue to fight along.
Yes.
And I mean, I received couple messages when I was out from some private sector people. Some of them they don't support us. Don't support me. And they know that, and I know they know that. But they message me and say, look, you know where I stand politically, but I really like to meet with you so you can explain to me, how is the government getting along? How is the government being able to deal with this COVID thing and still maintain the state? You understand?
Yes.
With a reduction in revenue and an increase in expenditure, we're not doing too badly. Yes. And I think the way to minimize the pressure on individuals and on businesses is to get vaccinated, so that we do not have too many hospitalizations. That's right. And we believe that the vaccination can help. And I really want to commend you, Simeon, and people like Senior Counsel Tony Astefan and others who have been really strident in encouraging people to get vaccinated. Yes. And I see your colleague on the other side, Max Peltier, has been doing that.
Yes.
And he himself has been denigrated.
Yes.
By UWP elements. He's been attacked. He's been insulted. I mean, the amount of insults they've subjected Matt to by his simply encouraging people to get vaccinated is amazing.
I know.
But it tells you the nature of the UWP, UWP is like a snake. It's young. It's young,
So they're doing.
No matter how good you have been to the UWP, no matter who you are within the UWP, once you see you don't go with what they're saying, they chew you up.
Destroy you.
They chew you up. There's nothing in this they haven't said about this guy. This new sense. What's his name? The president of the EPP.
Cobbett, Julius Cobbett.
Corbett.
Yeah.
I mean, let him get what he's taking.
In the right place.
Let him take what you get in talking. Let him take what you get in. The amount of peace. Alex Bill in America, he walk in the street with no clothes. You know, if you take out all his clothes on him, you know.
And they strip you off.
All his clothes on him, you know. And then you have nothing else saying on this young girl from permission who was a senator.
Yes.
You know, the senator. You know, these guys have no friends, they have no love, they have no concern. This guy is dog eat dog.
Yes, dog eat dog there.
Dog eat dog. And may the fiercest dog survive. That's what it is, you know. These guys have, you know what I mean, my brother. You see me?
Yes.
Even when people who say they were support the Labour Party, they left us.
Yes.
And they said all kinds of things about Skerrit.
We never tell them, dog.
I never hear me come on the radio and say anything about that.
No.
And I have everybody smile to me, man.
I would imagine that.
There's a lot I could say about them fellas there.
Yes.
But that's not my nature. Understand? If you're my friend, you're my colleague, and you decide you want to part ways, I wish you all the best. If you want to be a prodigal son, you come back, I will go on slaughter the fattened calf. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I didn't come into politics with any animosity, and neither do I have any animosity. I can fight my politics hard. I never throw the first stone, but when I respond, my brother, I come down like an avalanche of rocks. You know, and people say, oh, the people shouldn't say that, people shouldn't say that. Well, the prime minister says that. But you know what people say about the prime minister?
I know.
Yeah, so I think it was for 364 days.
Yes.
Right? 23 hours. Right? And 59 seconds. The little second I take it to respond to them.
Yes.
People crying, man.
I mean, it's just something else. But it's interesting that you spoke about the World Bank and the statements that have been made. I mean, Afimate and others have been out there making a lot of ridiculous statements on the public radio. I
feel sorry for Afimate because at his age, and you know, I thought this guy would be out there writing some books and you know and so forth. But the reality is, Afi has not been associated with any success. As a matter of fact, everything Afi has put his hands on, Afi has destroyed. You know, I mean, I recall when we decided to stop voting for the killing of whales. You know, he wasn't happy. You know, he wasn't happy because we caught his daily bread because we saying that we will promote whale watching and the killing of whales.
Yes.
Then he had no more reason to be sticking out there. These guys have no scruples. These guys negotiate principles. They don't negotiate words. They negotiate principles. This is why you know he'll jump on any political bandwagon, any group or anything. But you know what's our time on these people, man.
Yes,
we have more important things to talk about in this country. The international airport, the possible replacement for Ross University and country that we will have. You know, the building of the hotels, the 5-star hotels, the building of homes, the Rosary Reinstatement and Enhancement Project, you know, that we should commence soon. The new hospital that we have, the MRI and the hypo machine and so forth, and the new health centers we build, the new schools are coming on stream. In the new school in Mao and the several schools that will be constructed, the tremendous work that we've been in sportsmen, even those who don't support us, telling us that they've never felt so happy, you know, to see the level of investment that we're making in sports, especially in the COVID period. Well, in the COVID period, there's no government in the Caribbean spending $1 on sports now, on any sporting infrastructure now. Because it's not a major priority in this time in terms of expenditure. You know, what I'm saying. So the number of positives happening and the proposal for the marina and so on, which we speak to, and the port and the cruise terminal of the country and the geothermal. I mean, We have many other things to focus on
Yes, yes,
and
yes.
improving lives of the people. We're focusing on these guys who are yesterday people.
Yes, yes,
These
indeed.
guys are yesterday people, man.
Indeed.
So we're not gonna waste time on these people. These people, a pastor, you make reference to them, but
Yes,
these guys
yes,
are not.
yes.
There's
They
no
don't
relevance.
know of the time.
But Simeon, after you keep me on there, and I know you have other calls to call.
Yes, indeed. Thank you, Brother
Take care.
PM.
All the best.
Thank you.
I'll be listening.
All right, PM. Thank you there. All right, there. Yes, you just heard it there from our political leader and the Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of Dominica, Dr. Skerrit, there as he continue to deliver on behalf of the people of this country. Whoa, I tell you. Wow.
Uh-huh.
Yes, yes, Nujala Nuke West on the telephone. Good evening to you on the overseas line. The telephones are going there. Call, good evening.
I'm not Simo.
Hey, 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 my brother.
How you doing, my friend?